Now what we're going to do, folks, is now we've done the water-based demonstration, we're going to use a ChemTrend solvent-based cleaner. This comes in a few guises. We call it Surface Clean if it's Zyvax branded. If it's Chemlease branded, it comes as Chemlease Mould Cleaner. So I'm going to just refer to it as a solvent-based cleaner. The main thing is we just want to show you how to correctly use it. Because I've seen a lot of people using a solvent-based cleaner and it's not always used in the correct manner. There's one critical thing I want you to see. You will not see it on this high gloss mould, so at some point we're going to move over to the low gloss mould over there, which you will ably see a continuous film of the cleaner. But for now, again, got the gloves on because we are using solvents. Again, a small wipe-on cloth here, and the idea is we want to saturate this cloth, so I'll put it on the mould. It's not going to do any damage. We want to saturate this cloth with mould cleaner and wipe on the surface. Have our I'll do it again because that's dried already. Have our wipe off cloth ready. I can tell you there's a continuous film of mould cleaner on that tool, and I want to wipe that off along with the contaminants straight away. Because the thing is, a solvent base, if this were wax on the tool, it would be a situation where the solvent would readily dissolve the wax, no hard rubbing would be required, and I would pick up the wax, you know, in my wipe off cloth. So I'm going to keep that well saturated. I'm going to work around the mould. Now with solvent based, it's important that you do a small area at a time. As I said before, we really want to keep this film wet, totally wet, before we wipe it off. So we work our way around the pieces of the mould and wipe off straight away. I can feel the cloth is drying out, so we'll add some more mould cleaner to it. And if you catch the light, the reflection, you'll see that you've got a continuous film on there. I can see that, you probably can't. I'm going to work my way around the mould, do one coat first. It's not really a coat, one application. And then we'll go back and probably do it again. So a total of 2 times. But before I do that, before I come back and apply some cleaner for the second time, I'm going to move across to the low gloss mould and I'll show you what I mean by a continuous film. Now we're going to put plenty of cleaner on here, and because this is a very low gloss mould, you can see a continuous film there. Now if I'm not quick enough, if I get distracted, especially if I was in a warm climate, the film would be dry, and you can see that in the film here there are dry areas already. It's no good, you know, wiping off at that point because the film is not going to be doing its job. What we want to do, we want to make sure the cloth is very, very, very wet with the cleaner. I'll do it again in the same area. And you can see the contrast between the you know, the mould, true mould surface, and the gloss that you see there is truly a continuous film. And very quickly gather up from the outside, and all the contaminants that were on that mould surface should now be in this cloth. Some will be in here, which is the wipe-on cloth. That does remove some of the contaminants, but the remainder, leaving the surface very, very clean, will be in the wipe-on cloth. So I'll just do this bottom bit here, make sure the cloth is very, very saturated, and Ruben will capture that. You'll see I'm only doing a small area at a time, and that's deliberate because I want to be able to really wipe this stuff off before it dries.
George, is it important to change your cloth frequently when you're cleaning a mold?
The question from Amanda was, is it important to change your cloth frequently? The answer to that question is yes. In this demonstration we're doing relatively small molds, so it's not really necessary to actually change the cloth here at this point. Now the wipe off cloth, when I start feeling this getting a little bit wet with the cleaner and the contaminants, I'll throw that away and I will pick a fresh one. That will make the job easier. So that's the answer to the question, okay? If everybody's okay with the demonstration of the wet film, the continuous film, we'll go back to the high gloss mould. That really is a clean mould, but I want to just show the tape test again so that you believe that it's clean. And let's reiterate, we can't get it off. God, it's stuck. I think we can say it's a thoroughly clean mould, especially in this area here. I can't get it. And I do have fingernails. Well, that was really stuck, so that is definitely clean in that area. I'll do it in one more. This has had a lot of attention and not. You can almost lift the mould up with it, so I would declare that, folks, as a very, very clean mould.